for those of you who have your cameras turned off, it would be lovely if you are able to turn them on. I understand sometimes that is not appropriate depending on what you're doing and where you are. But I love to be able to see the folks that I'm speaking to. You are here at my Thursday afternoon version of my 5 marketing success tips. And I'm going to go ahead and put a few links in the chat for all of you. These links are how to connect with me, my website, and some information about the marketing group that I am starting next month in June 2025. With that, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so y'all can see my little presentation I put together here. Go to this one and this one. Can everybody see that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, great. So you are here for 5 marketing success tips. I want to take a minute to this is really funny. I don't know why I have to give myself permission, but okay. I am Michelle Walters. I live in the East. Yes, I'll approve all of these things. Okay. Oh, we're going to decline that because that suggests that there's somebody here that shouldn't be here. Hang on.
Ruh-roh.
Hang on. Yeah, this person is going to need to go. Okay. We're going back to presenting. Once you see too many messages that you're doing things you're not doing, let's see if that's the real Julie Feinstein. That looks like the real Julie. Okay. Hang on, folks. I'm going back to my presentation and we are going to get started. Here we go. So back to the presentation. I'm Michelle Walters. I am in California. I got my first degree at UC Santa Cruz in biology, kind of a science nerd. And then I went on to get an MBA in marketing and information technology up at University of Washington in Seattle. I spent over 25 years working in consulting and digital marketing, leading teams. Most of that time, I was working for creative agencies who were serving great big companies. So kind of think of me as the modern day digital equivalent of somebody on the Mad Men team. That was the kind of role in the industry that I played. We worked on mostly huge projects for companies like Clorox and Schwab and Procter and Gamble and Nestle and PG&E. You name it, I might have done it. Lots of different kinds of marketing, watching digital marketing go from when I started in the industry in 1997 up until where it is today. So I've seen email marketing, websites, search, banner ads, all of these things have sort of come about and now we got AI and all kinds of other stuff going on. But I have a lot of experience to bring to the table. About 3 years ago, I trained to be a hypnotherapist, and I've written a couple of books, and I have a podcast. And I have decided to expand my business from working primarily in hypnotherapy to also incorporating a significant slice of my business to focus on helping solopreneurs and small business people get their marketing act together. I know this is important and I know this is hard to learn. There's a ton of resources out there, but that doesn't mean that you can just Google something and immediately understand how to do it, why to do it, how it connects to everything else. And that's one of the things that I want to be able to help people with. I am starting a group called the Magnetic Marketing Collective. Magnetic Marketing Collective is going to be focused for people who are solopreneurs and small businesses. We're going to meet, the sort of core piece of this is to meet 3 times a month for an hour and 15 minutes, Mondays at noon. and we will go through a curriculum. I have some ideas of what I think would be helpful for solopreneurs and small business people to learn and do as part of their business. I am also going to make sure that this is very community oriented and run. And we'll be listening to the community in terms of what other folks particularly want to focus on, learn, do, or know. We're going to focus more on digital marketing than on offline promotion, but I know enough about offline promotion that I can certainly help people with some of that. And the key focus of my group will be to help people advance their marketing because, like I said, this is not the easiest thing to do on your own, and I can be very helpful. So I want to take just a quick minute to go around the room and have everybody share for 15 seconds if you want, your name, what your business is, and what you are hoping to get from our time together this afternoon. And Jeff, your mic is on, so I'm going to put you first.
Sounds good. My name is Jeffrey Ernst. My company, which I founded 2 years ago at the end of May, is called Danny's Fancy Fudge. I make fudge, and it's been quite the journey. I started with one little flavor and a prayer. It was actually my business was started. This is going to go more than 15 seconds, so we'll have to get over it. It was by popular demand. I had no aspirations at all of starting a business. And I started serving it at parties and events and whatnot. People were asking, where can I buy this? And I said, well, I don't sell it. That's where it all started. So now we're 2 years into it. I've got 3 markets. I just closed a deal with the San Francisco Hilton for 5,000 boxes for their VIP vendors over the next year. It's quite something. So what I'm trying to get out today is I want to be more Facebook and Instagram marketing because I want to take this to the next level. So I'm ready to rock and roll. And I know this lovely lady, Michelle, and she hypnotized me out of my golf rage, if you will. People didn't know who I was after the round. It's like, Jeff, you didn't throw any clubs, you didn't kick any dogs. What's going on here? So, well, you can thank Michelle for that. So,
Well, maybe
anyway,
I can help you with your marketing too, Jeff.
yes, indeed. I'm done. Thank you.
Okay. Frida, why don't you go next?
Hi, my name is Frida Miletsky. My business is called Frida Miletsky Healing Arts. I have been in business 2 months and 3 weeks.
Go, Frida!
And I run an online healing school through the Member Up platform called Return to Self-Love. And also am seeking, I have 4 students and I would like more. So that is why I am here and want to learn from you, see what you got to offer.
Great. I'm glad you could come today, Frida. Debbie, are you able to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your business and why you're here? We can't hear you, Debbie. I think you're still muted. There
Okay.
you go.
Hi, my name is Debbie Delgado. The business that I am a part of has existed for 21 years, I believe, in the area where we live. We recently moved a year ago. So I actually bought into this business maybe 10 years ago, 11. I really lost track. I was not involved. It was more like an investment because I was still working full time. I was, let's say, kind of forced to retire by an reorganization. And that was back in 21. I didn't start becoming very involved in this business until a year ago. So the other 3 years were just, 1 year was trying to get a swimming pool installed. That was like almost a whole year, all of the back and forth and everything. The other 2 were just trying to figure out what I wanted to do. I really didn't need to really do anything at the time. And so it's been about a year. We do have digital marketing, but it's through a digital marketing company. I'm sorry, let me backtrack. The business The main business it's been is martial arts, mostly for children, but we do all ages. We've expanded into firearms, concealed carry weapon, and I'm in California, so if you know about California and getting a CCW, it's not that easy. Security guard training, personal protection.
Tell us briefly, Debbie, what is one thing that you're hoping to get out of our time together today?
To understand digital marketing. I don't feel like the company that we're using is providing enough leads. And I think there's a lot we need to do on our own, such as
Okay.
Instagram and TikTok, and I know nothing
Okay.
about it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Debbie.
Yeah.
I don't know, Brandy. I do know a little bit about Julie. If either of you are able to either come on camera and share, that would be great. If you're not and you want to put some information in the chat. Hi, Brandy. Nice to meet you.
Hey, I could be on camera a few minutes. I have a little one that I'm attending to.
Okay. Okay.
Um, yes, my name is Brandy Keys, and I'm out of Raleigh, North Carolina. I'm born and raised, but I live in a small town, Spring Hope, North Carolina. I just opened up a small coffee shop called Bees Coffee Shop, which stands for my name, Brandy. About a month and a half, and it's going great. But the challenges are I am in a small town, so and I got tired of corporate. I was in corporate for 20 years, over 20 years. So I just wanted to do something the rest of my retirement that I love to do. Not that I have to do it, but I love to do it.
Well, thank you for joining us
Mhm,
today,
mhm.
Brandy.
Thank you.
Julie Feinstein or Julie Marty Pearson, would either of you be available to introduce yourself?
Yes, hi everybody. I'm sorry, I'm in the kitchen, so I'm trying to keep the camera off because it's just anyway. Hi everybody. I am here for just to learn and to listen. Michelle and I know each other through networking, and I'm excited for this evolution in her business. And I will say also I have many hats that I wear, and I do marketing consulting, and I'm completely self-taught. So this is an opportunity for me to learn, and I'm really excited about, Michelle, your background and this piece of what you do. So yeah.
Thank you
That's
for coming, Julie. And now on to the other Julie.
Hello. I assume we're just
So
doing a short intro.
people are introducing their name, their business, and what they're hoping to get from our time together today.
Perfect. Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Julie Marty Pearson. I am a podcaster, speaker, coach, and advocate. I help empower and inspire women to share their stories through podcasting as awesome guests or by starting their own podcast. I also host a networking community called the Women's Podcaster Party, which just ended about 18 minutes ago.
Which I was at before. So.
And it's really just a space to connect and grow with other podcasters, as well as guests, speakers, or people wanting to learn more to become one of those things. Because not everybody needs a podcast, but if you have a business, you should be tapping into podcasting in some way or another. So I am here just to learn better and more marketing strategies for my business, but also for my 2 podcasts.
Great. All right. That is wonderful. I'm going to flip back to my little presentation now. I really appreciate learning that from all of you. It helps me a lot. Okay. So let's go here and then go over to my presentation. Okay, we're back to the presentation. Okay, moving on. So my first tip, get your Google My Business game on. Can I have a show of hands of how many people here have Google My Business set up for your business? Nobody. Okay, or not very many. Oh, Julie does. Good, good, good.
Yes, I do. I do.
Okay, great. And you do too, Brandy. That's wonderful. So if you don't have it, I highly recommend you look into it and see about getting it going. There's a whole lot of reasons to have your Google My Business set up. One of the major reasons is it is super helpful at people who can then find you. Google uses the records in Google My Business to recognize what businesses are out there, who's actually sort of touching up their businesses and adding and editing their business profile. Google sends leads to, Google sends traffic and puts people in different orders in the search terms based upon how current and accurate they think somebody's content is. And so if you have a Google My Business page, it tells them that you have a business, that you are looking to be introduced to people, that you want to get that information out there. It will help boost the SEO, not just to your Google My Business page, but it also helps boost the SEO to your own personal.com page, because it is sending more traffic there and it recognizes that this is a valid source of traffic. It's important to have quality sites referring into your website. That's part of how Google knows that you have a good website and something good to offer. It is absolutely free. It doesn't take that long, but it does take a little bit to set it up. And Google does do some sort of credibility checking to make sure that you really have a business and that you get your mail and or you have a site. You have to do whatever it is Google is requiring. When I signed up a couple years ago, they mailed me a postcard that had a code and I had to put the code in to show that I could get mail. I think they've changed their process a little bit since then, but go through the steps and get your Google My Business page set up, because you will be much happier once it's there. It's not just my opinion. I went out and did a little research to find out, am I not I believe in this, but other people do too. So I found this fellow who's at Cube, what's his name? Cube Creative. And he did some research on the clients of the Cube Creative advertising agency, showing that, for the clients they were serving, it really did help to lift their views and leads and calls. One of the things I can see in my systems is how many people are interacting with my page every month and how many of those actually turn into a call. And what I am seeing is that if I update my Google My Business page even just a little bit, maybe adding a question or an answer, logging into it every month to check the stats, these things seem to help draw more people to the Google My Business page, which is going to give me more exposure to people out there. So if you want to get your Google My Business game on, you can start here at support.google.com/business. And that will take you into the website where you set all of that stuff up. So tip number 2 is choose your channels. Everybody here described what I would call truly small businesses. These are little businesses, and when you have a little business and you have a bajillion available marketing channels, you cannot do all of them, and certainly not do all of them well. So I looked online, and the way that the online answer AI bot that I asked was like, oh, there's 15 channels. I bet I could come up with 50 channels if I decided to parse it or count it a little bit differently. I was taught, this is going back and showing kind of my experience and age in the digital marketing world, to loosely categorize the different channels into 3 categories. And I find that this is helpful. So there's paid media, there's owned media, and there's earned media. This is how I think about it. Your owned media is what you own. It is the stuff that is on your own platform. It is your email list. It is your blog. It is the stuff that is entirely up in your control that you can do something about. And it generally serves as the hub to your marketing system. So you want to have, most people need to have a website. I think there probably are some exceptions, but for the most part, a lot of customers, as I talk to customers out there, they're like, well, if somebody doesn't have a website, then are they really a business in 2025? It's just come to be something that you think about. Now, your business, I don't know about Frida, you probably have your own website, but if you didn't have your own website, you could have it through a school or you could have it through some other sort of affiliation that might function as your own media. But I think probably most of the folks on the call here have their own URL. Your paid media is if you are paying for some kind of marketing. Maybe you're paying for banner ads to advertise a new program that you're launching. Maybe you're paying for a speaking opportunity. I would also call that paid marketing. Paid media is anything that's going to go into you're shelling out money in order to get exposure or leads or prospects or butts in seats, whatever that might look like. And then your earned media is basically the social category. Earned media is going to be like your Facebook, your TikTok, your YouTube, and that we call earned because the idea is that you are popular there, you have followers, the platform decides that, hey, you already have 1,000 followers and they know that they liked this last video a lot, so they're going to promote the next one and they're going to show it to more people. So that's what falls into earned media. What you as a small business owner need to do, and this is part of what I'll be helping people with in my group, is if you can't do all of them, which ones are you going to do? And how much of each one? Because there's a lot of different options here. It's important to decide where you want to put your attention and your energy because you can't possibly do everything. And how are you going to gauge the success of your efforts in these various opportunities? Are you going to say, oh, I ran one ad and it didn't work, so I'm never going to do ads again? Well, that might be, kind of jumping the gun a little bit, right? So this is how I think about it, and it's important to be selective and decisive about what channels you are and are not going to play in. I mean, it's been like I'm an author, and apparently book talk is huge. There's this huge channel on TikTok for books, and it's a really great promotion. But I don't choose to be on TikTok because I can't be on all of them. And so I have to just accept that I'm going to be giving up a little bit over there because I didn't choose that as one of my marketing channels. So it's important for you as a marketer to be clear and decisive about what channels you're going to focus on. You can't do them all, and so you got to pick as smart as you possibly can. My third tip is measure, measure, measure. Does everybody here have a marketing scorecard for their business? Anybody here think about that? Try doing that? Nope. Well, guess what? When you work for a Clorox or a Schwab or a PG&E, you have to have metrics to show that what you are doing is in fact moving the needle, working, smart, things that your clients put into their presentations and get them promoted. Well, when it's your small business, you need to have an idea of whether or not people are coming to your blog. Are people coming to your blog? If you don't measure and go and look, you're not going to know. And the truth is that now we can measure so many things that part of what my program is going to be working with people on is deciding what things are you going to measure? Because you could measure everything. You could do nothing but look at your marketing reports of how many websites and how many pages people viewed and how many minutes they spent on the website. But you've got to be able to sort of sort through what's important from what's less important and how do these metrics line up with the goals and objectives that you're working on. I thought it was interesting as I looked for data about this, like most small business people say that they really don't know how effective their marketing strategies are. And most people aren't even sure if their current strategy is going to help them match their goals. Well, by working with somebody with some experience and also with working in a collective, my community is going to be very much sort of sharing and helping each other. We're going to be able to get much better with setting up your scorecard, making sure it's a reasonable amount of time that you're spending on it, but you're watching your metrics on things and seeing how things progress. I thought it was interesting. I looked up, let's look at some marketing measurement tools. Well, some of these are tools, some of these are solutions, but you can look up what search terms are working. You can see how your website is working. You can see how your Google ads are working. You can create a dashboard in Tableau, which I did years and years ago for PG&E to see how many different things come together. So I don't really believe that most small business people are going to have the time or money or want to deal with this in a complex way. But having some way of keeping track of these things and seeing the progress is essential. Tip number 4, automation is your friend. There are so many tools out there for doing automation. And here it's a matter of figuring out which ones are going to be the right ones for you at this moment in time. But automation can really change the game in terms of how you get things done. I was doing a whole bunch of follow-ups today. I've been doing lots of networking, meeting lots of people, finding lots of, oh, I should introduce her to him. I need to introduce her to that guy. And recognizing, oh, I went to a meeting, I met a bunch of people, I want to follow up with not all of them, but some of them, right? All of those calendar links now that make it so easy for me to find a time when I can connect with Julie or Jeff or Margaret or Betsy, like it's not hard to do that because of automation. Calendaring is not the only thing to automate. You can automate your follow-ups from people who came to your Zoom calls. You can automate lots of things. You can automate memberships so that people pay and they just get automatically billed every month. There's tons and tons of things that you can automate. And as a small business, it's going to be a matter of looking at how many of those things make sense to do at what timing and when in order to get more done faster. And so I recommend people think about what is their automation game plan. Now, you might not have the time or money or focus to be able to automate everything today, but what are the things that you could automate this month or this quarter that would move you closer and closer to having your business run faster, better, smoother, etc. And then my tip number 5 is be friendly and available. And what I mean by that is use marketing tools to make it easier for people to get to know you, for people to get to kind of sniff you out before they even are ready to get on a call. So today I got an email from one of those people I set up a connection call with, and I got an automated email from her or her business with this funny little GIF with her waving and smiling at me. And I was like, oh, that's a really clever idea. Like, here's this little video. And she looked a little quirky and a little odd, but I thought, this woman thought it was important enough to establish that as her branding before I even get on a call to talk to her by putting that in an automation as an email. She's available because I got on her calendar really easily. And she used this little funny GIF video to help to introduce herself and to, indicate that she is a little quirky, but that she, has a lot of personality. And now I'm kind of like, well, of all the people that I set up calls with in the next month, she stands out because of her funny little video. So those are my 5 tips. Get your Google My Business game on, choose your channels, measure, 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 automate everything you can, and be friendly and available. And so with that, I wanted to tell you a little bit more about what I'm doing with this Magnetic Marketing Collective. So I'm going to start June 2nd, and I'm very happy. I have a few founding members, so we're going to be able to start on time, which feels great. I'm going to sell 10 founding memberships at only $49 a month. And once I sell those 10 founding memberships, the regular price will go up to $99 a month. I don't know if it's going to take a month for me to sell them or 2 months or whatever, but if you are interested, there's definitely a lot of savings to be had by acting soon. Everyone who signs up to be a founding member is going to participate. I'm going to ask them to participate in a little marketing assessment, which is a questionnaire I have to send out to people so that I can better understand what your current digital world looks like, what marketing systems you have, what are your priorities, Part of that will be answering some questions in a forum I've got, and part of it is a special bonus for founding members that I'm going to do a 30-minute call with you after I get the survey so I can ask some questions and get a better sense of what everybody who's signing up for my community really wants to do. Because as I mentioned, I have some ideas of what I think small business owners seem to have as their gaps, but I'm going to be very responsive to the needs of the community. So we're going to meet the first, second, and third Monday of the month, not the fourth or the fifth, just 3 times a month. And the meetings will be from 12 to 1:15 p.m. Pacific. The intended agenda for that call will be, we'll do a little bit of an introduction or check-in with folks at the beginning, and then I'm going to teach some kind of a lesson, demonstrate something that I think will be of value to most of the people in the group. I expect that will be about a 10 or 20-minute lesson or presentation. We will then use the remainder of the time for folks in the class to be able to actually go into their systems and look at what they've got and see if they can do some of the upgrades right there within the window of time. Because I know part of the challenge people have is they just don't make the time to do this stuff. And so if we can make a little bit of time sitting on your calendar, these first, second, and third Mondays of the month to actually get some of the work done, you're going to see a whole lot more progress than if you don't get any of it done. I'm adding to the calendar to also do a once a quarter review and planning for the following quarter. And since June is the end of the second quarter of the month, we'll actually start with that extra session. There'll be an extra session in June to look backward as much as possible on April, May, June, and then look forward as to what are some of the bigger objectives and initiatives that you have planned for the summer months. I'm going to have a monthly Ask Me Anything session, and there'll be an online community for support. It'll be kind of like a Slack thing that I have set up through my system. It's not on Facebook, so if you hate Facebook or that's not something you play in, it's not going to be a problem because it's a separate, different community. I will be providing resources and recommendations. This came up in my previous session. So if you were looking for what's a good email system or what's a good CRM system, I'm going to be able to give you some referrals and recommendations for those. I'll also be providing referrals to the group for people who are experts in particular topics. So for example, I have a podcast. I love having my podcast. I figured it out. Do I want to teach people how to make a podcast? Not really. But Julie, this is exactly what Julie Marty Pearson does. And so if somebody in the community is like, wow, this is going to be the perfect vehicle for me, I'll be referring these people to some of my trusted partners to get additional help. As I mentioned, I'm going to put together sort of a plan for the content, but the content will change a little bit depending upon what the community wants. What I'm thinking of or what I have in mind for right now, just to give people a little bit better idea of what the syllabus, what I expect the syllabus to look like after I've had my interviews with everybody. I want to start with measurement because very few people know how to measure. And if you don't know where you stand, how can you know how far you go? I want to take time to make sure people are clear about who they're targeting. Because if you don't know what's the bullseye target, it's going to be a problem. We'll talk about choosing your channels, and I'm also going to talk about making the most of your CRM. One of the areas of digital marketing that I go deep on is CRM marketing. I've been doing customer relationship management and email marketing since, well, 1998. That's a while. It's changed a lot, and now it's a lot easier, which is the good news. Some of the benefits of the community. It's going to be a very supportive environment. I'm going to have everybody agree that it's going to be a safe space. I'm going to make sure that that happens for people. I'm going to use this for accountability as well. I have a couple of people who are planning on joining the community who frankly know what they're doing in digital marketing. They're just not getting it done. And so the accountability aspect of the group will appeal to a certain segment of the folks in our community. Skill development, I have very much a do as much as you can yourself perspective. That's going to work for some of the people in here. It's going to work for, I think, many of us. There will be some things where I may show you what's got to be done and you're like, and then we got to figure out if you need a helper or that doesn't get done, or I don't know, we use AI or some other solution. There'll be motivation and momentum. I'm very good at cheering people up, cheering people on, getting people to move forward. And then, as I mentioned, tools and resources and confidence building. So I would love to know if you are interested and want to join. There is a discount if you want to pay for a whole year, but I totally understand. Since it's a new group, I don't expect to have many or any of those right now. For people who are interested, I will send you the schedule to link, a link to set up your payments through my QuickBooks. And then we'll set up invites for all of it, and it starts on the 2nd. So that ends my little presentation. And I can come back here and see all of you. What questions do you have? Yay, Frida's in. Awesome. And Debbie's in. Okay. Or interested. You have to let me know if there's a difference between in and interested. Frida, I'm counting you in. Julie and Debbie, let me know if you want to just set up a call to do more questions, or if you're in. Okay, great. Wonderful. Thank you. Glad to hear it, Debbie. What questions does the group have?
Well, for me personally, the
Yeah.
whole fudge thing, and we'll talk about this at lunch next week.
Okay.
I have 3 farmers markets that I do. I'm trying to get people to like just come to the farmers market, just to come to the market and then visit me. So it's hyper local. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
you
I mean,
are
it's
hyper-local.
literally hyper local. We're talking the city of San Ramon, the city of Walnut Creek, the Rossmore Community Center. I don't. I'll digest this, and I'll have some of the best questions you've ever heard next week. I promise.
Okay. That's absolutely fine, Jeff. Jeff and I already had scheduled a lunch. We will go through his stuff next week.
And just let me say, Michelle is quite something. If you haven't noticed over the last half hour, she's like one of my heroes. She's been through some things, and here she is. And I tip my hat. It's just every year you expand yourself. You come out of your comfort zone. You do so many things, and you incorporate. So anybody who's listening to this, if you don't get on with this lady, I have nothing else to say.
Well, thank you very much, Jeff. I appreciate the praise. Always one to accept praise. I believe in receiving, and I am receiving that thankfully.
And it's my pleasure.
Thank you. Any questions from you, Brandy? I know you're kind of in a can't talk so much spot, but you're welcome to either pop on, or I will follow up with you and see if we can go through any questions you might have.
Okay. Yes, thank you. You can follow up with me. That'd be great. Thank you.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
I'm making a note. Follow up.
Thanks.
Okay. Well, with that, I am thankful to those of you who said you're in, and I will be following up with the rest of you with calls and answering questions and that kind of a thing. I appreciate you spending a little bit of your time this afternoon or this evening listening to my 5 top tips and my pitch. And thanks again. And I'll be in touch. Have a great night.
You too.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care. Always a pleasure listening to you. It really
Thank-
is.